We're here for the deal makers, the revenue generators, the margin expanders, for distributors, manufacturers, and retailers, for the Lone Ranger, calculating rebates in spreadsheets, and the large teams overseeing complex deals. We're here to connect rebate experts with each other, to build a community of leaders and forward thinkers, to help you connect with other rebate experts so you can learn from each other and grow your careers. It's time to join the most exclusive community for rebate strategy on the internet. We're here for the rebate strategists.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Woo! 2023 just came like that. And we'll be seeing 2024 in about 300 odd days. Yep, that's how it goes. It's another year.
It's good maths, Reggie.
That is good math. Math is my strong suit. So happy New Year, Mark. Happy New Year. How are you?
Yes, good. It feels like it was a long time ago already.
It does. Time is just flying. Time is just flying. We got a couple people in the house already. We got Banky. What's up, Banky? Happy New Year to you too. And let's talk about resolutions, shall we? Because this is a new year. Does it mean new Mark or a new professor? Is that what it means?
You can never get a new professor, but I'll give it a go.
So what you got for us? What you got for us this year? What are you going to do differently?
I had to write this down very quickly. She sprung this on me right before this call.
I did.
Literally before the intro credits, and I won't forget that. So my resolution, I'm going to look after myself more and do more of what I enjoy. So I'm trying to learn to be a golfer, which I'm not sure if I'll enjoy that. A lot of golfers will probably laughing, thinking, yeah, good fun with that. But that's what I'm going to be doing personally, professionally. And my resolution is to make sure Cole gets his socks. So, that I feel I've let the side down on that one and kind of kicked the can down the road a bit too much with that. So that's another one. And really just staying genuine. Like everything we do, this isn't about the utopian world of what you should, how you should be a leader or how you should manage your rebate or anything like that. This is about reality, real people, real stories, real solutions. And so it's just keeping it that way. What about you, Reggie?
Well, before I get into mine real quick, I want to say that, you getting Cole a pair of socks sounds a lot more challenging than you becoming a golfer. I just need to say that.
Yeah. You haven't seen me play golf though.
No, and I can't.
It's not pretty,
and I can't wait. My New Year's resolutions. You know what? I said it this year. I'm going to be more open. I'm not going to be so more, closed-minded. I'm going to take a little bit more risks this year. Cast fear to the side because you know what? On the other side of fear are so many good things, rewards, victories, and just live life. We only got one life to live, so that's the way that's the way I'm living this year. Another thing, I need to eat more healthy. I need to eat more greens. Like I know we got a green background here. This is beautiful, and this is more inspiration for me. But I need to get those greens in me. No, I won't be vegan though. I won't be vegan. I like my meat a little bit too much. So that's me.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah. So who else we got in the house? Okay, so we got Kale Parks in the virtual building. Happy New Year, Kale. And hey, if you got any resolutions, people tuning in, feel free to put them in the chat. Tell us where you are tuning in from because we got the professor out in the UK and I am in Toronto. So with every show, we always have a guest. And for this one, we're excited because we are going to be bringing on Razib Ahmed from Enable, and he is the product manager extraordinaire. This guy, like Mark, I need to tell you a quick little ramble about this guy. I went to a product marketing alliance conference, and I was, facilitating a workshop. And I, as the facilitator, I just had to do a quick introduction, gave my name, said where I'm working. And then, after the workshop was over, this lady asked me, she goes, "Hey, I noticed that you work at Enable. Man," she goes, "I used to work with this one guy that he now works there, and like he's like an all-star, like he's amazing." And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going down the list. I'm going down the Rolodex of names right in my mind. I'm thinking it's gonna probably be Mirage, it's gonna probably be Jamie, it's gonna probably be Sabri. She said Razib. And I was like, whoa. But you know what? No, I got to give him all the credit in the world. He is a great product manager. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's a subject matter expert. And Dorian Razib, no, I didn't think of you last. I kind of thought you, maybe just under Mirage, maybe a close second. But, let's just bring him on. Let's just bring him on. I'm talking. Yeah. What's up, Razib?
Oh, he's muted.
He's unmuted. He's on mute.
There he is. On mute. What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
I was just gonna say, Reggie, I wasn't even in your top 3. Like, that kind of hurt my feeling.
You know what? Just having that conversation with that lady, she made me realize how special you are. So you're like my number one.
I don't know about that, but no, I appreciate that intro. Yeah.
So welcome to the show. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you guys as well. And Mark, if you need help with golf, I'm probably not the right person, but I can probably connect you to many people in Toronto.
Do you play much golf in Toronto?
Last time I played, funny enough, actually was in November because the weather was so nice in Toronto. So we were in Muskoka, which is like the cottage country in Ontario. So we ended up playing a round of 18. I mean, the sun went down at 4, but still fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I'm good at putting. I'll just leave it at that.
That is apparently where you make the money, isn't it?
Well, I got to get on the green first, right? So.
No, listen, I won't even talk to you about my putting game, my golf game, period. It's just horrendous. And maybe that's got to be one of my resolutions too. But Razib, no, thanks for joining us. We want to obviously bring you on this show because product is at, it's the pinnacle for what Enable is, right? In terms of what we offer the marketplace. We are a SaaS tech company, and you have to have a good product, and just kind of give a flavor in terms of like your journey as a product manager, kind of like where you came from and how you ended up at Enable.
I don't know how many people actually know this or not. Before I actually got into product, I was actually in a customer success role, very much similar to the customer success role at Enable, where you're responsible for making sure your customers are happy, as well as there's like a little bit of retention sales element to what I was doing. I was actually working for one of the major banks in Toronto. Not gonna name the name. What I realized is like I really like solving problem, and as I kind of like thought about what I want to do, for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Wanted to solve problems with technology. Talked to a bunch of people, a bunch of friends who are already in that space. And this naturally kind of made sense to me. That's what I like to do, figure out, what our customer problems are and how do we solve it with technology, right? Not the other way around, how the technology solves the problem. So I've been in product for almost, 7, 8 years now. Started at the bank, worked at a telco. Really enjoyed my experience there, but I wanted to get into smaller organization. So prior to joining Enable, I worked at a fintech, like a financial tech organization. Very similar story to Enable as well there. Lots of good experience. And my last job, actually, before joining Enable, was in health tech in the US. So, quite a bit of pivot from what I was doing before, and majority of the time in fintech. Learned quite a bit about the US health world. And then Enable, had discussion with lots of good, amazing people, and it was very easy. It was very clear from day one that this is the place where I need to go. Part of it is what you mentioned, building a product, right? There was a lot of customer problems to solve, and my motivation is to solve this particular problem. So easy choice to join Enable, and I've been here for a little over 4 months now.
Jeez, those 4 months though feel like it's about a year, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think a few weeks, like a month and a half ago, I was talking to a bunch of our colleagues from UK, and they were like, "How long you been here?" I was like, "2 months." They're like, "No, like a year." I was like, "No, 2 months." So it does feel, it does, it's dog years. Yeah, yeah.
I remember, Razib, our very first call. I think you just literally kind of almost landed, and it was one of these. Hi, I'm Razib. I'm here, and I'm going to be building the Spa software. And I just remember just sat there, kind of grinning, thinking, "Oh my, you just do not realize what you kind of walked into here." Because firstly, I mean, hats off. Being able to come into an industry and build software when you've got to pick it up from scratch. Not only have you got to learn how Enable do things, but you've actually got to understand what is this software actually doing. And what I've always found really enjoyable about dealing with yourself and the team is it's not just code; it's so much more than that. And what's your approach always been when it comes to building a product?
Yeah, Mark. Just before I touch, yeah, that conversation feels ages ago. I think you were one of the first people I talked to. Like you said, building a product is not about codes. It's not about if or and statements. It's ultimately about the way I look at it. You want to solve a problem. You want to solve them for a particular group of people at a time. And in order to do that, empathy comes in, right? And empathy is not about how they feel, how they feel, how they do their day to day. What are some of their challenges? How can they be successful? I think building a great product requires you to be empathetic, right? So this is what I always tell my team as well. Don't solutioning is the easy part. Understanding the core problem and making sure the way we're going to solve it actually helps that individual and then the next 99 individual. That's how I look at things. So again, understand what business you're in. Rebate, right? Who are your customers? Manufacturers, distributors. What are they doing on a day-to-day basis? How does I'll use SPAs or spas for an example. How does that fit into their overall business model? Understanding those helps you build empathy, not just for the users, but others within the organization. So this is what I always say: start with empathy. You kind of keep going down that particular path, try to understand the problem and try to solve for the problem. And I think this is one of the things that I've been very vocal about over the last, since I've joined. When you're solving a problem, if you solve it for one person, let's go find lookalikes, right? So if it's in a particular segment within the industry, I can guarantee you that 9 other people have the exact same problem. And this is how you can continue to kind of scale with what I would say capabilities rather than building like one-off solutions. And we've been very successful in Enable building solutions, right? But moving, especially with spas, that's kind of like the lens I'm looking into, building the particular product. How do we solve it for a particular segment within an industry and then kind of evolve over time and kind of get to as many different industries or segments as possible?
I really like the empathy piece. I mean, in terms of what it makes it feel like to me is it's less transactional, the kind of the process. It's not just about ticking boxes here. This is about
100%.
building something that has an identity that is going to, your customer is going to be able to kind of resonate with that and understand why has this been built? Why has it been built the way it has? It was because it was built by somebody who understood me as a customer. And I think, that's so powerful as opposed to, just putting something together and saying we've solved a problem.
No, 100%. And I think, again, being in customer success, you always have to put yourself in the customer's shoes, right? Because they're calling you because they have a problem. You're going to upsell, cross-sell, that's fine, but you always got to solve the problem first. And I think I've been able to carry that along and now just making sure utilize the same feeling or experience or whatever you want to call it as we're building out this like tangible product or experiences, right? You can easily code things and it does the job, but as it actually make their life easier, does it make it for them to wake up and go like, oh my God, I don't have to worry about that report, or I don't have to worry about that particular 20 customers that I need to do auto renewal for, right? So that's how I kind of look at things. So 100%. We can go build blindly as much as we want, but if it's actually not helping the customer, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get the next like 100 customers on board.
And so a really important question, and this is taking a good shout out from Cole there. He's staying quiet about the socks though, unless you're not putting that post up, Reggie. By now he should be absolutely, beyond excitement with the knowledge that his socks are coming out.
I'm just hoping that you're taking Razib's philosophy and applying empathy to Cole for the fact that he still doesn't have his socks. But
we've got the socks for months now, guys. We gotta get some socks.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, something you mentioned earlier. So when you worked in customer success and you refused to name a financial institution, a very well known. I've got a little question on this. Would it happen to have the words Royal Bank and the word Canada in it?
No, it does not.
It doesn't. Okay. I was going to say, because I worked there and everybody who I know who worked there still works there. It's like they're not allowed to leave. It's like an institution. So I was surprised if you'd have managed that feat. But you're off the hook on that one.
It's a topic for a different discussion, I would say.
we also, Reggie, Gator, sorry. We didn't ask Razib New Year's resolution.
No, we didn't. What is your resolution, Razib, for this year?
I deferred it.
You deferred it?
Year, yeah. I'm not sure yet, right? I want to take a little bit of time this year. I feel like I have not done a good job in the last 2 years. At the end of every year, I sit down with my fiance and we do retrospectives. And as a product guy would. I haven't been doing a good job on certain things, right? So the list has built up. So I deferred it for now. I'll be in the UK next week, and then when I get back, I think early February, I'll decide on 1 or 2.
So translation: his fiscal year starts February 1st.
Correct. There you go.
I was just thinking that's a really good use of the term deferred, as opposed to other terms that you could potentially use. Next time I have a deadline that I don't meet, I'm just going to say I deferred it.
I'm using too many product terminologies. The secrets are getting out. So yeah. For sure. Yeah.
But I was thinking about like product terminologies, bespoke being one of them, one being, off the shelf product. You talked about applying empathy to, product development and so forth. But when it comes to the product development cycles, you're hearing like a lot of noise, right? From different parts within the organization that's internally, but then also externally from the marketplace. When it comes to managing various wish lists and kind of quieting down the noise to kind of figure out what are the priorities should be, what is like best practices for managing priorities from multiple stakeholders internally and then obviously externally as well from our customers in the market?
No, that's a great question. And the first thing I would say, whether as an organization or bespoke or you're actually building a product, whatever your identity is, it's great. Both of them have pros and cons to it. My approach, whenever we're going to start building a product, we talked about empathy a little bit early on. Let's get into a little more what does that actually mean? How do you actually build empathy, right? Which I would call is market discovery or customer discovery. First thing, understand the business that you're in, right? Internal, external. What is it that you're doing, who you're trying to solve the problem for, who those people are, then go talk to those people. Try to understand what their day-to-day looks like, why they're doing rebate, why are they doing SPAs, why are they doing promotions, why are they doing commissions. Try to really understand what is the motivation factors and then the pain points, right? And of course, you're going to have internally people saying, build this, build that. So our revenue team, whether it's a sales, CS, you're talking to customers probably more than 50%, probably more than product team should be. Although I tell my team that if you're not speaking to X amount of customers a week, there's a problem. But naturally, you're speaking to more customers, so you're hearing the market noise. So what the market is saying or what the potential customers is saying. Ultimately, the product's responsibility is to take the market discovery that you have done or the customer discovery you have done, and what you're hearing from the internal people, putting them together. And creating almost like hypothesis around we should build X, we should build Y, we should build Z, so we can drive value A, B, and C, right? And then you want to go back in the market to those potential customers, or if you have actual customers, and validate those. Whether it's, hey, I understand this is your pain point, high level, this is how I want to solve it. Whether it's a prototype or a mock-up that you create in like one of these design tools like Figma, you want to be able to demonstrate something that you understand what it is. And the way when you want to leave this conversation, two things. You want to feel like, okay, I understood the problem and I can actually create the value. In the back of your mind, you know it's actually feasible because the technology exists. And on the customer's mind, you're like, okay, they nailed it, and I cannot live without that particular product when they build it, right? So that's kind of like I would say like the overall approach. I would say looking for a great product, you want to be able to couple discovery as much as possible with like delivery, which is like actually building out the product, and then you iterate. Once you put something out in the market, are you going to get it right the first time? Maybe, but has everybody? No. That's why you have like what 16, 18 different version of iPhones. So you continue to like iterate on those and make it better, and make sure you're building a product a customer can't live without.
So I've got a question, Razib. We'll keep this one a bit quiet. So what have we got coming? What have you got kind of hidden away that you're going to bring to market? All this special sauce. What are you bringing us?
Yeah. Since I joined, I think you kind of said, Mark, you said this, or the professor rather, you said the state I am working on our special pricing agreement product.
Mm-hmm.
Not just myself, my team's been very much focused on it over the last 3-4 months or so. We have made great strides. And I think part of it was because we had internal, I'm going to give a quick shout out. Sorry, the Gator, but we had internal resources like yourself and Maureen, who's been tremendous to understand the business needs, then allowed us to go in the market, either, talk about it, validate it, etc. So I think over the next upcoming months, you're going to see us making continued enhancements on our special pricing agreement product, where we're going to go beyond just core capabilities. One of my PMs from my team always talks about how do I make this a wow experience, and I think that's what we're trying to strive for. So yeah, look out. Over the next few months, you're going to see some tremendous improvements and enhancements coming through our special pricing agreements, which I'm really excited about. Not just for the organization, but for our customers. I'll use a quick story why. I was speaking to one of the customers a couple of weeks ago, right before the holidays, and basically they have 3 people working 40 hours a day, manually keying in their special agreements they get from their partners into a system, and taking that, putting them into an Excel, and doing the manual calculation. And this is not a small organization, right? Talking to them, they're exhausted. They don't want to do this for rest of their career. It's crazy. So being able to create a product that's going to change their life, that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
And it comes back to what you mentioned off the top. It's about solving a problem, right?
100%.
And I'm glad that you led with that story, because here you have 3 people working 40 hours a week and so forth. It's a lot of manual labor that goes into just inputting data all day, every day, and then doing the calculations and so forth.
Yeah.
You're utilizing technology to make their lives a lot easier, automating the process for them, and imagine what they can do when they have that time back, right, within that week.
And this is something like, the professor / Mark and I talk about. Our goal with our special pricing product eventually, as we continue to evolve, is to help you make better business decisions, right? Like right now, managing contract, making sure your claimbacks are accurate, you're seeing the right reports, so you're not, over or underpaying. All those make sense. But eventually it's going to get to a state where we're going to have the 2 parties using the same system, right? Whether you're a manufacturer or a distributor, and we're going to be able to make suggestions, right? We're going to be able to solve real business insights that are lacking right now to make better business decision, whether it comes to process, whether it comes to pricing, whatever the case might be. We're going to be able to solve some critical business problems, which again, probably won't happen in the next couple of months, but definitely the future looks really bright for what we have in plan, and I'm excited to work with the overall team as Enable to kind of get there.
And I think it's so powerful that to me, it's not just solving a problem. It's then going on to what Reggie said. It's then creating an opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I know from my last role, if I was able, and we automated numerous tasks. We never automated for the purposes of removing people. Exactly. We automated so that we could provide more value from our people. So take away the bits that, 40 hours a day, a week, putting things in, probably a day, and when it's I don't, not quite a day, but year end when all the new contracts come through.
Oh my gosh.
I remember my team just, they were demolished, for a good month. But being able to actually take people and create jobs they really enjoy and they develop into, that for me is, allowing them to make informed decisions, so that these collaborative relationships can actually be more efficient and more competitive. I think that is so key. Kale said something only the other day when we were talking about, when you look at the business and you think of, some of this stuff, you might say it's just the basics. Automate the transactional stuff so that you can focus on it. It's just the basics. But to me, and going back to golf, what do golfers practice the most? The basics, the putting. It's because it's the basics where that makes a difference. They're the bits that you really focus on and get them and get them where you need them to be, and then keep them there.
Yeah, no, I think you articulated it really well, 100%. Yeah, that's how we're looking at things. We will be looking at things as we kind of continue to build out this particular product for our customers.
Yeah, and so I suppose moving on to another thing you mentioned. So you're going to be in England next week.
Yes, I'll be in England next week. I think, as I mentioned, I've been with the organization for 4 months. I have lots of colleagues on the other side of the ocean. I'm in Toronto, if you can tell by my background. It's time to, meet them. I'm excited about it. We have had lots of virtual conversation, but nothing in real life. So exciting! It's going to be an exciting week to meet people and move some of the needles that we need to move.
Have they promised to take you to Spoons yet, or Wetherspoons?
Yeah, a couple of folks mentioned it, and I was like, I'm not sure if you're talking about an actual Spoon or like if this is a place, and they still haven't answered it. So I've been kind of in this limbo for the last few days as to what a Spoon is. So I actually Googled it. I couldn't find it.
No, you'll find it when you get when they take you out. You'll remember it.
We're looking forward to it. Yeah, everybody.
From my experience, it was an interesting place. I'll just leave it at that. But.
Yeah, the tone kind of gave it away, but no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. I've been to UK, London a few times, but never been to Stratford. So yeah, I'm excited to go. Hopefully, it's not raining too much.
Yeah, it's always good to. So many people come to England and then they only go to London. But if you really, that London is one bit of England, and it'd be like going to New York and thinking you now know America. It isn't that way. It's so getting out to some of the other, towns and cities. They've all got their own unique appeal, just like Canadian cities and towns, American cities and towns, and everywhere across Europe. So I'm sure you'll really enjoy it.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And we hold on. I know we're kind of at the top or at the tail end, but we got to address Kale's question.
What was Kale's question? Oh boy, I forgot he knows this. No comments.
Thoughts on the Raiders QB future? No comment. Sore spot?
Yeah. So football, like American football, I'm a huge fan. Raiders are my team. They've been for 20 plus years. I can't remember last time when they had like a good consecutive good season. So I don't know. I still like them. Like how I love my Maple Leafs. They just benched their starting quarterback for absolutely no reason other than they're gonna probably trade or release him in the offseason, which made no sense. Future looks bleak. I'll just leave it at that. But we'll see what happens. Lots of time still until the next season starts.
Nice of Kale to raise that. You see, one thinks of Kale as a nice guy, but he's got a little side to him there, hasn't he, with questions like that?
Yeah, I think part of it because he's in Kansas City, so he thinks he has a superior team, but it's okay.
Well, Razib, no, listen, this is great, man. It's been a pleasure working with you and looking forward to what you bring for the future. Because I know that, listen, We have a lot of upside in terms of the product that we're going to be developing. A lot of exciting things in the roadmap, which we haven't even discussed, and maybe we can bring you on as a part 2 for that. But no, a lot of good things are up in the air, so that's good.
Yeah, before we start, guys, I'll just say, like, we're in the beginning stages, right? So with SPAs, we'll continue to evolve that. I'm super excited, and again, thank you both for having me. This was actually fun. I look forward to getting some socks or some sort of incentive for being here. But no, I appreciate it, guys, and thank you.
There will be socks. There will be socks. We are giving away socks. Every show we give them away. We may not ask Cole to attest to this in terms of receiving the socks, but we do give them away.
Gotcha. Understood. No, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me.
All right, cool. And Mark, any final words on your end? Throwing you on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot.
I think a lot of what Razib has said, you can apply to so many different things. For me, the key takeaway is it's about understanding. So whenever you're tasked, whether you're in finance and you're building a report, you're in an IT company and you're building some software, it's about understanding the problem that you're trying to solve and how it's going to create an opportunity. And I think if you do that, you'll be so much more effective at what you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Empathy. Have empathy. Love that, Razib.
Yeah.
All right, so we're about to sign off, and before we do, please join the Enable community, and it's right there in the chat in the scroll. So www.rebatestrategist.com, and we will see you again the next 2 weeks, where we'll just be debating rebates stuff, American football, English football, or European football. Not just English football; it's European football. Anyways. Signing off, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.